three things you got to do: location, cost, and what are the management arrangements. Well, we got coal-fired plants all over Michigan, and you know what? There's a sewage disposal plant right next to almost every one of them. Again, because of zoning requirements, those two things tend to wind up in the same place. The cost is $24 million over a 2.5-year period. State appropriation, $7 million, and the rest is matching funds, venture capital. Now, the reason I wanted the state involved, because just doing this isn't enough for me. We need to have a world-class bio-research facility in Michigan as algae becomes a fuel of the future. Now, when Pfizer left here, they left behind some beautiful research facilities. There's one in Holland, and it's on the books for $50 million. I went and looked at it. It's $100 million easy, and it's empty. And they gave it to MSU for $1 or whatever. So the idea is to get MSU to work with this project, because algae is pretty finicky, and there are thousands of different kinds of algae. And so you got to figure out which one and all this stuff that, again, proof of concept. But we need these two parallels, and that's why the state ought to be interested in this thing. And that's why, and the management arrangements are what I'm talking about. And all kinds of royalties and so on would go to the Research Institute. And of course, Sequest would be behind getting the material to various people, doing all the testing and so forth. And to me, it was very important to have both of those pieces together. Well, the governor in his State of the State address a year ago said we are going to have Centers for Energy Excellence. And it was a sentence and just sitting there with nothing underneath it. So I took the name and I do the general government budget, which includes the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I sat down with them and I said, we have to do proof of concept. The way the rules say now, the only way we can use money in your budget is if the research is automotive related. So we're going to take some of that money, $18 million, and we're going to put it in a thing called Centers for Energy Excellence. And then $7 million of that is in a work project that goes 2.5 years. And again, like the battery thing, they have milestones. You miss them, can't make it, the money stops. They don't get $7 million on the front end. All along the way, I don't like surprises. I want everybody to understand what we are trying to do. I operate on the principle there's no such thing as a good idea till the other guy thinks it's his. And then when he does, you bite your tongue, and that's how things get to move. And that's pretty much where we are with the algae. And notice how it ties in now. If in fact we're going to have more electric cars out there, we can't say, oh good, we'll put out more windmills. That's not going to happen.
Right.
And what this does is it takes the liability and turns it into an asset.
Absolutely. And you avoided any conflict between the food chain and energy.
Oh yeah, that corn is an absolute loser when it comes to this stuff.
Right. And
all kinds of things will come out of this. I was overlooking at the engineering facility, and Bob Truxell's engineer was over at the sewage disposal plant. And the guy at the sewage disposal plant said, man, the biggest problem I have is getting rid of all this ammonia, which is a byproduct of what we do. And the engineer said, well, you know, you got nitrogen oxide coming out of that coal-fired plant, and when you put it with ammonia, you have fertilizer. So there's so many possibilities here for a kind of future that we didn't have in the past. And again, Michigan ought to be the place to do it. We got the people that can do the work.
Oh, yeah.
And so between you guys and the batteries, algae, which is just getting ready for a proof of concept, I think we have some synergy here that makes a lot of sense to me.
Sure.
So I hope I piqued your interest. I know you piqued mine when I came to see you guys.
Right. Well, these are exciting times, and this just proves that
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the very near future that we hadn't even thought of.
No,
perhaps
that's
10,
right.
15
That's
years
right.
ago. This is
Yeah,
exciting.
it's terrific.
Yeah, it goes a long way to, again, helping Michigan become the epicenter for these renewables
Exactly
and all
right.
energy.
That's right. We got to get out in front of it.
Absolutely. Definitely doing the right things.
Well, listen, I'm glad you guys came by. I hope you had an easy trip up here and an easier one going back. If there's one thing that doesn't please me about this job, it's the 96-mile one-way commute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think I'm doing some good here, and I'm very much involved in this kind of stuff. And again, I thank you for what you're doing.
Again, thank you for having us, and I don't envy your drive, but anytime you'd like us to come out here, we'd be more than happy
All
to.
right, that's great.
Thank you, Senator. We
Sure,
enjoyed it.
my pleasure.